Hi folks. This video is specifically directed towards some people on the Korean peninsula, South Korea. Those folks who are always pointing to the other side of the sea, Japan, the nation of Japan, and admonishing the people of Japan, you need to get in touch with your history. You need to learn your history. Yeah! They're concerned that the Japanese do not know their history, so they're critical towards the Japanese for that. To which I have to say, really? Or as we say in Japan, Majikayo! Haunted? Recently a gentleman from New Zealand posted this on Facebook. And what it is, it's a reproduction of claims to be a reproduction of a portion of a book of President Herbert Hoover of these here United States of America, the 31st president from 1929 to 1933. Now, Herbert Hoover, prior to being president, wasn't much into politics. He was a geologist on the mining side of geology, and he traveled a lot throughout Asia. Well, this portion that the gentleman from New Zealand posted claiming that it was part of Herbert Hoover's book, the first section deals with Herbert Hoover on the Korean peninsula, I think in 1909, and wrote about how deplorable the conditions were. Then he went back after the Second World War, I think in 1946, and that's the second paragraph there, and he writes how the conditions were vastly improved thanks to the Japanese. Well, you know, there's a lot of stuff on the internet that's false, and this could have been a doctored document. Not that the gentleman from New Zealand did it, but he could have been misled by it also. So I searched the internet trying to find anywhere that would show Herbert Hoover being in the Korean peninsula. Could not find anything. Gee, that's rather strange. I searched the National Archives. I figure as a former president, if he went there after the war, there would be something there. And the website, nothing. I searched the Herbert Hoover Presidential Library's website. Could not locate anything about him being on the Korean peninsula. So I got a little concerned. And I finally, I checked my local library, and naturally the illiterates didn't even have the book. So I searched Amazon, and there she be, the book. So I was forced to order the book. And here it is. Here's the book. Look how thick this book is. You know, sticks and stones would break your bones, but names would never harm you. Throw this book at you with all these, the words would never harm you. With all these words in here, you're going to get hurt, kids. Well, I searched the book. Now, this book is what I would call heavy reading. One, because it's a heavy book, but it's really, it's not a book you would sit down for enjoyment reading. This is more or less a research book, such as a dictionary, an encyclopedia, or an almanac. We're searching through this book over 900 pages. Golly gee willikers, right here, I found the passage. I think it's on page 737. There and there. Yeah! Word for word, as the gentleman from New Zealand posted on Facebook. So I'd like to review with you in detail what he posted that was in this book. Let's look at it and review it together. President Herbert Hoover wrote, I first visited Korea in 1909 to advise some Japanese industrialists on engineering matters. The Korean people at the time were the most disheartening condition that I had witnessed in any part of Asia. Gee, anyway. Then he says, there was little law and order. The masses were underfed, underclothed, underhoused, and under-equipped. There was no sanitation, and filth and squalor enveloped the whole countryside. The roads were hardly passable, and there was scant communications or educational facilities. Scarcely a tree broke the dismal landscape, meaning there was no trees around, I guess. Thieves and bandits seemed to be under restraint. Gee, there must have been Democrats there. Now, in the next paragraph is about when he returns to Korea. During the 35 years of Japanese control, the life of the Korean people was revolutionized, beginning with the most unpromising human material. The Japanese established order, built harbors, railways, roads, and communications, good public buildings, and greatly improved housing. They established sanitation and taught better methods of agriculture. They built immense fertilizer factories in North Korea, which lifted the people's food supplies to reasonable levels. They reforested the bleak hills. They established a general system of education and the development of skills. Even dusty, drab, and filthy clothing had been replaced with clean, bright colors. So you know something, folks? There's the proof. Here's the proof. Now, the Koreans were critical of the Japanese during the 35 years that they were part of Japan. And the Japanese response was, "You're ungrateful. We took you from the Stone Age and brought you into the modern era." So the Japanese say this, the Koreans say that. Who do you believe? The 31st president of these here United States, Herbert Hoover, a third party, not Korean, not Japanese, totally disinterested, and he wrote his before and after on what transpired on the Korean peninsula. So I would have to say to the people in Korea, you need to learn your history as we just learned here. See? And you need to be in touch with it. Instead of you being critical of the Japanese, you should be thanking the Japanese for lifting you out of the Fred Flintstone era, Stone Age, into the modern era. Now, were they perfect when you were part of the Japanese country? Of course they weren't perfect. And you want to know why the Japanese weren't perfect? For the same reason you weren't perfect. Human beings are not perfect. We're going to make mistakes. Gee, even me, kids? Yes, especially me. All right, learn your history. We'll see you. God bless you. God bless America. God bless the nation you happen to be. And God bless our good friends and trusted allies in the land of the rising sun, Nihongoku, Japan. And now listen to me. I know there are plenty of people in South Korea who are not denying the true history of what took place, but out of fear of reprisals, they have to remain silent. And I pray for you that one day you'll be able to speak and your voices be heard. See ya.